What's going on, people? So this is gonna be, I guess, a reaction review for the movie Joker. I just bought it digitally, of course. I just bought it and just watched it. And aside from the whole Wayne thing, wasn't a bad movie. Honestly, the Waynes didn't need to be in it. And the reason I say that is because Joker, at least this iteration of Joker for this movie, is way too old. Okay? He's not 26. Just looking at him, you can tell he's not 26. You could tell he's not in his 30s. He's more of somewhere in his 40s in the Joker. So he would be an old man. Like, he'd be in his late 50s, early 60s, if not late 60s, early 70s, by the time Wayne became a full grown ass man and came back to Gotham. So I can't give you that one. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong, but you did not need to throw the Wayne's death in there unless it would have happened as like kind of a flashback to like a burst out with the character. Like, that would have been okay. Like, this is a precursor to what's gonna happen. It's happened before, but because, and this is heavily induced in the movie, he's on medication which evened him out, but it started to fail him because nobody was upping the dosage. That would have played off a lot better. I feel like if they would have been like, look, he had an outbreak when he was a child and he killed some people, and then it turned out he killed like the Wayans, or the Waynes. I don't know why I said it that way, but anyway, that would have worked out better because, as we all know, there is not that big of an age gap between the Joker and Bruce Wayne. Okay, and this movie puts not only a very noticeable age difference with an age gap, considering they show the death of the Wayans at the end. I really thought they weren't going to touch on that. And the fact that Arthur Fleck's mother brings up Thomas Wayne was kind of interesting, especially because I feel like with the DC universe right now, you could have something here. You don't have to be Marvel. You just have to be raw, gritty, like the Dark Knight trilogy was. You just have to bring that. You dig what I'm saying? That rawness that this can happen in reality that the Joker presents. Um, but I feel like the age thing, DC, I feel like with every movie, you somehow fuck the age entirely up. And nobody's wanting to sit here and say, look, man, this movie's great if they just get the ages right. I said it in fucking Gotham. If you go back a couple years ago to my Gotham reviews, I said it then. I don't like Edward Nygma having like a good 10, 15 years on Bruce when every iteration I've ever seen, they've been about the same age. They've been close to, like, I think there might be like a 5 year gap there. Not too drastic. Nothing that could make you really go, okay. But I said it in Gotham. Gotham, the ages were all over the fucking place because they didn't want to make Gotham about Jim Gordon, which is what it started off about and should have stayed about. Wayne should have been a background guest protagonist that just got brought up every once in a while because something would happen at some event that Wayne would go to, or something would happen at like the school Wayne went to or something like that. But Wayne should have never become a main cast member of Gotham. That show should have been about Jim Gordon, and I still believe that. I mean, after all, Edward Nygma, not only was he a full-fledged career, GCPD employee in Gotham, but he became the Riddler and notorious for his crimes in Gotham. The only one that made sense to me in Gotham was Penguin. This seemed like the show was really veered to explore the complication relationship between Jim Gordon and Penguin. And it didn't turn out that way. Like, they tried to make it about that in the last episode, I feel, but they failed miserably at the same time. And that's Gotham for you. But I feel like Joker could have really really been DCU's first full-fledged massive blowout success that would have had the levels of like The Dark Knight Returns or like even Watchmen. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't got to see the HBO show because I don't think I don't have it. So um, Joker really could have, and like I said, that's my only nitpick with the movie is the death of the Wayans. And again, I said it wrong because I don't know, but because of the death of the Wayans in Joker, I just couldn't. I couldn't get behind it. You know what I'm saying? The whole movie's decent. It is very dark. It is very gritty, much like The Dark Knight. But I feel like if you were gonna show this Joker, you should have showed this Joker with Batman already being there. This should not be a Wayne as a child. This is the Joker. No, unless you're planning on exploring the other two Jokers and introducing Jared Leto's Joker at some point to Phoenix Joker. And then all you gotta do is find one other Joker to be the Jack Nicholson Joker or the one who was Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, you could find somebody. Granted, you kind of gave Phoenix Joker to this iteration, which I think he just proved he could have been the replacement for Heath Ledger. I'm not saying he is, I'm saying he could be. This performance is really that good. It's in Joker's standalone movie, and that's saying something. I'm taking nothing away from Heath Ledger's Joker. I will never take anything away from that. That is still the creepiest and yet so fucking amazing to watch Joker. This one is good too. I don't like that we really only got 30 minutes of the Joker, it felt like him in full-fledged costume being the Joker. I mean, we had a few scenes where he did a few things that you're like, okay, that's very Joker related. But I feel like the overall feel of who Joker is, we only got like a good 35 minutes of that. And this is a 2 hour and 2 minute movie. And we didn't get but at best 35 minutes of Joker. I'm sitting here watching it and I know the backstory for the storyline that they got this from. Even the story they got this from, Wayne is a full-blown adult. Because this is one of the stories derived from The Killing Joke. If you remember, he says he would like multiple choices. Also, this could have a sequel because Arthur Fleck is the guy who becomes the Red Hood. So this could definitely have a sequel, I feel like. It definitely deserves a sequel. But please leave the fucking Wayans out of it. Either leave them out of it or get it right. This is the most overused death sequence in any movie. The death of the Wayans, Thomas and Martha Wayne, their death is so overly watered down and played in Hollywood that they can't even bother to get it in a proper timeline. You feel what I'm saying? Bruce Wayne dies. Not Bruce Wayne, but Thomas and Martha Wayne die, and Bruce is, what, 7, 8 years old? In this iteration of Joker, he has got to be in his late 30s, early 40s, if not late 40s, early 50s. You see what I'm saying? And I know you're like, oh, that's impossible for him to be 50 years old. Are you fucking kidding me? Have you seen some of these 50-year-olds walking around right now? You can't tell they're 50 years old by looking at them. Alright? So this Joker, again, I'm not looking for negative things here. This is just from what I've seen. I just watched the movie. It's a very good movie. I definitely recommend anyone paying the full $20 for it on digital. Even if it's just to pay for the movie to watch it. Rent it if you are uncomfortable with that. Or buy the physical and get the digital for free. You dig what I'm saying? You'll have a physical copy, which is what I was going to do, but I didn't want to go to Walmart. I don't want to go to Target. I don't want to go anywhere. So I just buy it digitally. And I have Google, so... You dig what I'm saying? Also, I have the 4K version of the movie, so I got it in the best picture I could possibly have. So I'm not mad at the way it looks. I do understand why they put all these warnings all over this movie, because this movie is very, very easy to forget that this is just make-believe. I understand that. because everybody gets kicked down sometimes, and a lot of times they do feel like their closest people have abandoned them. I know exactly what they're talking about here. You know what I mean? This year, I could identify with this movie pretty heavily, just off of me going through what I've been through. You dig what I'm saying? So I understand why they're saying that. I understand that. I'm not going to take this movie serious. It's the Joker. He's not real. He's make-believe. And I'm always going to be a fan of the Joker. As you can see right there, you see the Detective Batman's. Behind me is Batman. You dig what I'm saying? I got Joker over there somewhere. He's got his own separate poster and its own wall art. You dig what I'm saying? I have a Joker head bandana, which, you know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of the Joker. I enjoy the Joker's story arcs. They're some of the best sadistic, sick, twisted, oddly entertaining stories you can ever read. And I don't read comics, but I enjoy the adaptations, whether these are cartoons, whether these are full-blown Saturday morning cartoons like Batman the Animated Series, or the DC animated universe like The Killing Joke or Under the Red Hood, or what's another good Batman story arc with the Joker over there? I want to say Under the Red Hood, but I just said that. I think that one's like the cream of the crop. Like, that's the best one. But he's got a bunch of animated movies with the Joker. The Joker is in Assault on Arkham. The Joker's in quite a few Batman movies. So, I mean, I do respect the Joker and everything about that. But I did want to put this out there that if they would have managed to cut the entire Thomas Martha death scene out of this, this would have been a very easy 10 out of 10. DC definitely has something to work with to not only build but rebrand the gritty, reality-based DC movies. This definitely fixes a lot of the problems that were presented in Justice League and in Batman v Superman, while at the same time creating new problems like the age gap between Thomas and Joker and Bruce and Joker. This creates a major problem with that. But outside of that, this has potential. It not only has potential, it has great potential to turn into like 3-4 movies, kind of the way they did with Iron Man and Thor and Captain America in the Marvel Universe. The Joker could really set the tone. This is the second movie DC has made where the bad guy is the main protagonist. Remember, we have Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is a god-awful movie. I'm never going to deny that. But this, Joker, this shows us exactly what we could have with Suicide Squad if DC wanted to actually fucking get their head out of their ass. This is what we could get from Superman, Batman, well, we got it with the Dark Knight trilogy, but Superman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter. Who else could we have a movie for that could be like this serious and gritty and it'd be really decent? I feel like you could have a Robin independent story where he becomes Nightwing. He leaves Batman and Bruce Wayne and Gotham behind for Bloodhaven. We could have a really decent DC universe plus a really decent DC animated universe if they took the time and showed as much love and care for the property and for the character as Joker did. And like I said, this is a great movie. I just really, really wish they would have kept the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne out of here. And I really don't think anyone's going to argue that. I'm going to go ahead and watch it again. There are parts to this movie that make me uncomfortable just because they're kind of written in an uncomfortable way, if you know what I'm saying. So, alright guys.